do it. He gets in the lane and he gets into this thing where I don't know if you noticed this. EA. This is for you, in case you're not aware of what's going on here. Luka comes off those screens. He gets the defender on his back. Instead of just attacking, getting to the rim, drawing a foul, and doing that type of thing, he's trying to get these guys to ride on his back and all that and wait for the perfect pass. Dude, it's not necessary. You have a floater. Get in the lane and score, man. Get in the lane and score. No, EA, we're not going to kiss KP's ass. But you told me last game, oh, he only scored 8 points. No, he only had 3 rebounds. He wasn't playing with any energy. Who was the best player on the floor tonight, EA? Please let me know who was the best player for the Mavericks tonight. Because I'm plenty. Many people will sit there and tell you they don't know, but I know who it wasn't. I do know who it wasn't.
Well, who was it?
I am fully aware of that.
Who was it?
It was a guy. It was a guy named rhymes with Ruka Lonkic. Okay, a guy that's named rhymes with Ruka Lonkic.
Well, hold on. I got a guy who's waiting to get on here. I think he's fired up to talk to you right now. D. Kendrick is joining the broadcast right now.
Guy.
What's going on, Kendrick?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, man?
What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, Kendrick? Can you not hear Billy still?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Okay, you can hear Billy.
I'm just for the record, I'm enjoying a wonderful piece of chicken over here, right? Just a wonderful piece of chicken.
It used to be a wonderful piece of chicken. It looked like a wonderful snag of bone and gristle on there.
I already got through it. There's more on this plate. You just can't see it. It's off the camera. Yeah. But go ahead, man.
This thing, I'm just gonna go flat. I said this thing's done. I said the other day, I said the Mavericks have to win this game because I don't see them winning 2 games in LA. And now they have to win 2. They have to win a game in LA. I don't see them winning a game. So advanced.
What is that based on though? I hear a lot of people say that they don't see the Mavericks. What is that based on? Because the Clippers are hitting shots, or do you feel like the Mavericks aren't capable of hitting shots because they've done it all?
I think as the series is starting to settle in, I think that we're starting to see, as far as the Mavericks, the others, those bad tendencies starting to creep their head around the Mavericks, as far as them being they're a 3-point shooting team, yeah, but they also are a bad 3-point shooting team. They're not a good 3-point. It's not like a bunch of 45 to 50% 3-point shooters. I'm not going to sit up and say, boy, Dodo's a great 3-point shooter, or Josh Richardson's a great or Max is a great 3-point shooter. They're a 3-point shooting team because that's what the system says they are. That's what how they play, but they're not a good 3-point shooting team. And if this team can't hit the shots, they're not going to win ball game. They certainly hell's not going to win on the defense end. Because they are average. They're a below average defensive team at best. And I thought I tweeted Walt. I said, and if you look at Rick Carlisle, he started panicking. He started panic coaching early in the series, early in the game, because he looked like he wanted to get thrown out. He looked like he wanted to get a tackle off of that foul on KP. And I said, they're not going to change that call because he did hit him in the head. I don't know why he even challenged it, but it looked like he kind of panicked. And like Walt said, once you start putting Boban in there, then you really grasping for straws. Then
you're grabbing right. You're reaching.
And Rick knew it. Rick knew it. Hey, this team is not hitting shots. We don't have pretty much of a prayer.
And don't tell me they put him in there to make a difference in the game, because they put him on for like 2 minutes and took him off.
2 minutes took him out, and
then put him back on for 2 minutes and took him off again.
I kind of got pissed with that, because you putting him. Okay, now you messing with KP's minutes. Okay, because KP came on for 2 minutes, then you take him out. Boban, if you look at the second quarter, it actually happened. They went in. Boban went in for about 3 or 4 minutes, take him out, then KP went for 3 or 4 minutes, took him out, put Boban back in. I'm like, what do you do? What are you doing? But regardless of the fact, Kawhi is being Kawhi. PG woke up and the others are for the Clippers are outplaying the others for the Mavericks. And if that's going to happen, they don't got no shot. They just don't, because there's not a. This is where now it's starting to really get to the Mavericks. You need a secondary ball creator. You need at some point. What they're doing is they're content with letting Luka try to get his, but they're not going.
That's exactly what I told you. I said they basically going with the motto of we letting Luka get his, and we're just going to shut down everybody else around him.
But Ty Lue saying they're going to play tight defense because they don't believe the others. Once you get to their shot, aren't they good to even create their own shot? I mean, I saw 2 or 3 times where Dorian, Maxey, and Jay Rich all had clean drives to the basket and either turned it over, fumbled it, or just turned it off, passed it to another shooter that was getting contested on a jump shot. So it's a personnel problem. I mean, if they're hitting the Mavericks, if they're hitting the shots, they're fine. If they ain't, they don't have a secondary thing to go to actually create offense for themselves.
Did you see what the Clippers were doing tonight? They were running the Mavericks off the 3-point line.
Running them off the three.
As soon as they got the ball to step up and shoot a 3, was somebody right there.
And you think anybody who can actually have handles, Dorian, Jay Rich, you can sidestep and go to the basket, but they can't because they can't dribble. So then what you had to do was just pass it to the next guy who was getting closed out. Then it was literally 5 guys around the 3-point line, just passing around the 3-point line, hopefully to get a shot. The only 2 people that would drive the ball was Luka and
Hardaway. Hardaway stopped throwing the ball.
And Hardaway, and I don't know what's happened to him, man. Hardaway's a streak shooter, man, a streak scorer. He was on the first 2 games, and now he's been horrible. And I said, this team goes. Man, we had to talk about this. This team goes not as Luka goes. This team goes as Tim Hardaway goes, because if he can't, he's that scoring punch. If he can't get his shot, they pretty much can't beat anybody.
Yeah, I mean,
well, and this is exactly why I was telling you guys earlier in the year. I can't get on board with it, man, because I can't trust it to be there for me. We talk about KP, and we talk about all this not being available due to injury, so on and so forth, and all that stuff. That's fine, but at the same time, I tell you this, man. What difference does it make if you're on the damn floor? You're still not doing anything. It's the exact same thing. So I'm looking at it like this. THJ, I'm not going to sit here and say that he hasn't been, good for us in the playoffs, but he's been bad the last couple of games. He's going to have to find it. He's going to have to find it. But maybe get back. Go ahead.
This is from Mike Bassick. This comment right here is from Mike Bassick.
Oh, appreciate it, Mike. I like your points too, brother. my favorite 105.3, the fan host.
There you go. There you go. I'm with you, Kendrick. Series is over. I was explaining to Billy that they've lost. The momentum is lost. Like you look at, I saw a look of concern in everybody's face tonight.
I saw Rick Carlisle panicking on the side. That's why I knew this bad things happen. When you got Rick Carlisle who don't show really much emotion, the time you see Rick Carlisle showing really much emotion is the time you need to worry about. That's when the Mavericks really, they aren't doing that good, because when that guy starts showing emotion, starts screaming at refs and starts screaming at anybody he can look at, it's pretty much done chicken for the Mavericks. Listen, you can't win 2 games up there, have all of them, and just to lose 2 games right back at your own, that just takes it out of you, man.
But remember, I
takes it out of you.
I don't know if you was watching this in the studio the other night. I said the Mavericks do not play good at home. They do not play good at home. For some reason, I don't know what it is. They just do not play good at home.
Then
they don't play good defense anywhere.
They don't
play good. The problem with
this
team is defense. It's not the damn offensive side of the ball. It's the damn defense. That's what kills the Mavericks.
Tonight it was offensive night because
that's one game out of a whole damn year. This offense is not the problem. It's the damn defense.
Billy, we had a conversation.
That has to go.
Billy, I told you, we had a conversation. At the end of the season, I said Dorian, Jay Rich, Maxey, their defense was starting to slip, and nobody and people on my Twitter page. Well, who is this guy? MFL, big time Mavs fan. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Dorian's a top 10 defender. I said, what the hell are you looking at? He actually told me, he had to put on my Twitter page. I didn't know. Oh, Dorian's a top 10 defender in the league. Jay Rich is a top 20. I said, I wanted to block him, but hey, MFL big time Mavs fan, you don't know what the hell you talking about, and that's me on the broadcast. I told you to come on the broadcast so I can see you. I don't know if you ever gonna come on, but you don't know what the hell you talking about. But I said the defense, whatever defense, the good defense they had, it was starting to slip. When you start seeing guys giving up straight line drives without a pick and roll, and they're supposed to be your best defenders, I mean, you got a problem. Paul George is getting to anywhere he wants to on the floor, with or without a pick and roll. Anywhere he's bullying, Kawhi's bullying, and now you got these other guys starting to drive. Who's the hell? What's the dude? The dude with the goggles? I know what's the
Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson, ass.
When you got Reggie Jackson cooking you. You got Reggie Jackson cooking you. Detroit Piston, Reggie Jackson cooking you. Then you got a problem. You got a serious problem with your defense. And until the Mavericks figure that out in the offseason, because they ain't gonna figure it out this series, they're gonna continue to have the same problem of being a poor defensive team.
Well, go ahead, Billy.
No, I was going to say, man, it's funny because I heard you all year. You were like, oh well, Josh Richardson, we should have kept Seth Curry and Seth Curry 3-point shooting and all that different stuff. That's all fine and dandy. At the end of the day, that does not win in the playoffs. That's not what it is. You have to have defenders. It furthers my point. They got the better deal out of it because they needed somebody to defend. They would be getting cooked even furthermore if Seth Curry was out there. And 3-point shooting comes and goes. That's something that we do know. We have watched basketball long enough to know 3-point shooting comes and goes. You can be hot as fish grease, and then you can fall off. What sustains is defense. The Mavericks don't do it. They gave up almost, if I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I know they gave up at least 50 points in the paint tonight. Paul George, all they were doing was layups.
It was a layup drill. It was a layup drill. It was a freaking layup drill today.
That's it.
Let me make sure I got this right.
Go ahead.
You're saying that Josh Richardson, who has given you all of maybe what he give you tonight? Josh Richardson.
I don't care about his scoring. That's not what we needed him for.
Hold on. He's on the floor shooting like they need him for that. He's shooting, going to the basket and doing stuff.
So when the ball comes to you, what are you supposed to do?
That's the system.
Exactly.
Right,
that's the system.
Right, you're right, Kendrick. But let's not act like that. But last year, I mean, they had the number one offense with Seth Curry.
That's fine.
Like they didn't,
and they were abysmal defensively. The same way.
Two things was missing in the playoffs last year: Brunson and Porzingis. That's why they lost the playoffs last year.
Oh, so they had nothing to do with them defensively.
Well, they didn't have it. They lost two key players that they got now.
I understand but their offense was still good.
Walt, they got those two players on the court.
Yeah, and
they got two more players added on their team, and it's still the same thing is still going. It's bullet ball going straight to the rim.
I'm not disputing that, but they got rid of. They don't have Seth Curry. Is my point. They took away another 3-point shooter, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna go with defense." The purpose of getting Josh Green was for defense, and they don't play it. They don't play it,
guys. I'm not trying to be politically PC, but it's like we arguing over who's the tallest midget here. Josh Green, Seth Curry. It's not either one. If you mold both of them together, they still wouldn't be a complete player.
At the beginning of the season, they said their reason for giving up Seth Curry was because they were going defense. Right. This year. Defense is going to be the key thing, and the defense ain't got better. It's gotten worse.
Yeah, it's gotten worse. But they
traded for JJ Redick and Nikolai Melli, and neither one of them have played 1 minute in the playoffs.
Yeah.
and they did want to go and get Andre Drummond when I kept saying, because everybody was concerned about how much money he was going to make and all that. To hell with all that.
Oh no, let EA tell it.
He can't shoot threes.
He can't shoot threes. Let EA tell it he was going to get in Luka's way of getting those rebounds.
Yeah,
and of course that was stopping those triple doubles that Luka did.
Hey, he can't shoot threes. He can't spread the floor. He can't shoot. He can't play here. He can't take a guy out the 3-point line and shoot. So he can't stay. He can't play here. You know, because they got to have 5 guys that can shoot threes at the same time.
the Mavericks have got to like legit. We can say the series is over. I still believe the Mavericks are going to pull this out. It sounds bootleg. But I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, because here's the thing. Here's one thing we do know about the Clippers. The Clippers are a team of front runners. That's what they are. They're a fucking team full of front runners. So trust me, the Mavericks could very well have the Clippers right where they stupid ass need to be, because the Clippers are a type of team that'll go out there, they're feeling themselves, they'll get out there and they will self-implode. That's what they will do.
I'll tell you this, Billy. I'll tell you this. Whoever wins game 5 gonna win the series.
I can agree. I can give you that. I can give you that.
Because whoever wins game 5 is also gonna win game 6.
Well, hold on. The Mavericks play good on the road, so they'll go and win game 5. They don't play good at home, so they'll go and lose game 6.
Then
they're gonna go back to LA, and they play good on the road.
And the rest will win game 7. Because they haven't had their say in it. The rest will win game 7. And you know how that goes.
You ought to quit, man.
I'm telling you what I know. The rest will win game 7. That's the route I'm taking. No, in all seriousness, though, guys, listen. The Mavericks they're not good defensively. We know that. I don't expect anything from them defensively. But at the same time, I don't expect them. I expect Rick to make some changes to where guys will get open looks. And I think the Mavericks will hit it. It might be better for them to get back out on the road, because sometimes in the playoffs, you got to have that us versus the world mentality. That's what the Clippers came in here and did. They knew that they were going into a loaded house, and they said, you know what, it's us against everybody. We got to go out here, and they played together. They band together. They weren't playing well together in games 1 and 2, man.
Hey guys, let me ask you a question. Has it ever been a series where every team won? Has there ever been a series in the NBA as every team went game 7 with each team winning all the road games?
I can't.
I don't know. I can't think of it. It doesn't come off the top of my mind.
Didn't the freaking Miami Heat?
Well, every team won all the road games. No team won their home games in the series. One at home.
If it did, I can't recall it. If it did, I can't recall it.
Hey, Kendrick, we gotta let you go. We're about to go big time real quick. We got a big guest. coming right here waiting on us.
Here we go.
Yeah. We got a big guest right here.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
All right, Kendrick.
We're about to go big time right here. I've been waiting for this for a while now in these playoffs. I've been waiting to hear his opinion and hear what he has to say, because you've been off the rails lately, and I think this guy's about to set you straight. Because joining us right now is 105.3 The Zone, 105.3 The Own, and the KMC Masterpiece on Mike Bassick. Mike,
did I hear when you said we're about to have Mike Bassick on? Billy say, "Oh shit, here we go."
Yeah,
I already know what's coming here, man.
He didn't even. I said we're about to go big time. He goes, "Oh shit, here we go."
Well,
I already know it.
I'm not. I'll tell you this: I'm not super upset with this. And I came into this series going, and I'm going to repeat this. This is a no-lose situation for the Mavericks. If the Mavericks win this series, then I'm wrong about a lot of these role players, and they are good enough to help win a series, and we just need to make tweaks to this team in the future. Okay. If we lose this series, we're going to redo this whole thing around Luka, because I just look at the history of Cuban and Nelson, and maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe they're going to change, but when they lost to the Spurs in the first, they beat Utah, they lose to the Spurs. They trade Juwan Howard, they go get Nick Van Exel, and they go get Rafe LaFrance, and then they lose in the conference finals to the Spurs. And they say this isn't good enough, and they go get the Antoines, and that blew up, and then you lose Steve Nash, and then they're like, okay, let's go get Stackhouse, let's go get Devin Harris, let's go get Jason Terry, let's redo this thing. That didn't really work. Let's go get Eric Dampier. It kind of worked. We get to the NBA Finals, but it doesn't work. They give it one more go. They get blown out by Golden State. And then they start redoing the whole thing, and they get Sean Marion, and they go get Caron Butler, and they get Jason Kidd, and then they go get Tyson Chandler. And that's over about a 7 year history of trying to do this around Dirk Nowitzki. And so I look at it, and I'm not happy they lost. It was embarrassing to get blown out in your building in Game 4, but I look at it and go, if they lose this series, I do think this starts the Donnie Nelson and Mark Cuban. We have to redo this thing around Luka.
I can agree with that. And hell, I was going to say, I mean, if that's a guarantee, you might want to look into losing this series because, Mike, I agree with you 100%. I don't think that the role players are good enough. I just don't think they are. I think they have their spurts. They're good in certain moments and certain times. But it's crazy to me how they could be so incredibly good in games 1 and 2 and then turn around and be just so equally bad in games 3 and 4. And I don't want to just buy into this whole thing. Oh, the Clippers went small. That changed the whole dynamic of it. No, you hit shots or you miss shots. You drive to the basket or you don't. And it seems like the Mavericks, just since they come back home, they just didn't have it. And I said this after the post-game show or at the post-game show on game 2. I said it when we had Kevin Gray on and we were talking. I was like, hey, man, who's going to be there to say, hey, guys, look, we're up 2-0. But we've got to put our foot on these guys' throat. This series is far from over. They're going to give us our best shot. It's like nobody knew the Clippers were going to come down here and punch you in the mouth. That's the way they prepared, or the way it seems like they were. It was like they just thought that the Clippers were going to come down here and lay down, and that was so far from the truth. And now we have a tied series.
Remember when KP said we celebrated too much? I thought that was the guy who was going to step up and say, let us know what's going on. He did come out and say we celebrated too much in the game. We ain't done yet.
You never know what's going to turn a series. And, we were crushing Tyronn Lue after 2 games, right? He doesn't know he's doing this. And now it looks like, oh, man, Tyronn Lue is doing some great things, and maybe Rick Carlisle is maybe struggling to make adjustments. I do think Rick Carlisle is hampered by lack of talent on the team overall, and I love the guys. I think that they're great guys, and I want them to prove me wrong when I say those things. I think that those guys, Dorian Finney-Smith and Maxi Kleber, are great guys off the bench for 15 to 20 minutes a night on championship teams. But we have to play them a lot more. We don't have guys that can overtake those spots. Willie Cauley-Stein, he's not really a guy that should be in NBA playoff games. But we're having to try to figure out what to do to try to get some minutes because guys need rest.
Right.
And so, I guess the point is this. I just wonder this, guys, in hindsight. When you're up 30-11 with 7 minutes to go in the first quarter approximately, they took Luka out for rest, and then it became 32-27, I believe, when he came back into the game, if I have the exact moment he came back into the game. I just wonder, Billy, to your point of they did stomp on him, and then they took Luka out, and everything changed. And hey, hindsight's 20/20. I bet if you asked Rick, he'd say, God, now that I know they go on a 17-2 run, I would have just left Luka in the whole first quarter, wore him out. But if we're up by 18 or 15 after 1, let's just say they're up by 15 after 1, and then I take Luka out for 6 straight minutes, maybe that's enough of a demoralizing thing that after 1 quarter we're up 42-27, let's just say. And now we feel like we do have huge momentum, and I got to get Luka rest at some point, but I can't. I got to run this. I got to run this streak up 30-11. I got to run this and see if he goes for 20 in this quarter. And I'm sure Rick would say, God, now that I know that all the momentum was lost the moment I take Luka out, I would have left him in for the whole quarter.
Right.
Wouldn't he have known that in game 3 because he did the same thing? And they went on a run on him.
Yeah, I guess you do have to get Luka rest. The one thing, there's multiple things. And Billy, you're right. He's worse than Shaq right now at the free throw line. Shaq's a better free throw shooter.
Yeah.
He has to work on that. It's funny, to start the year, and Donnie Nelson laughed me off. We had him on to start the year. And I said, hey, I was watching film of Pistol Pete Maravich. And Pete Maravich is one of the greatest shooters of all time in basketball history. And when he shot a free throw, he did not stand at the line. He stood 2 steps behind the line, and he stepped into it. It was a 1-2 step shoot, so he could get his rhythm of a shot. He didn't want to just stand at the line. And I asked Donnie Nelson about that. Hey, have you guys ever looked at Pistol Pete Maravich and thought, with the way Luka shoots free throws, that maybe stepping into it, having rhythm into the – and they're like, hey, dumbass, you're a baseball player.
Let me guess. That's crazy to think something like that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm like, I get it, but in baseball right now, there's a lot of things that I'm not totally agreeing with, but there's a lot of different things they're trying to see if they actually are better than doing it just the old way. And I'm like, Luka can't shoot that way from the free throw line. I think at this point it's proven. Maybe he'll get better, but like try a different rhythm, try a different pattern. But that being said, at this point, it's very tough because I do think we're limited on talent. And I mean, they're sitting guys like Beverly now doesn't play.
Yeah, he didn't play at all.
Right.
Like how much
like 1 or 2
if
minutes.
Beverly got put onto our team, what would Beverly get? 25 minutes a night?
Yeah, he'd be starting somewhere, I'm sure. He'd be
doesn't even
starting. Right.
So,
Well,
True.
Mike, I don't know if you noticed this or whatever tonight, but they did go with sets where Luka was off the ball running down court.
yeah, I think there was injury there with him, and then I think he's. This was the other thing too. He has to get in better shape.
Mm-hmm.
There's two things. I think you're right, Walt. This whole season, they have to take him off the ball some. You know, Charles Barkley said it at I think halftime. He's just like, man, like they ask Luka to do everything on this team,
Right.
and I think that part of that is he does have to do everything. The talent around him, like Billy, when I was listening to you earlier, is I agree with you that, man, KP needs to get the ball more in situations, and I think that you are blaming Luka for that. And I can see your point, but literally there's times where Dorian Finney-Smith threw it right to Nicholas Batum trying to get him the ball. There were times earlier in the series, Jalen Brunson, and maybe because at Villanova, I'd have to watch, like they probably don't run any post offense at Villanova in college basketball. And it's not like you do a lot of post offense in high school. And he's a smaller guy.
Yeah.
He can't feed the post. And Porzingis can't.
Their game plan in Villanova was to get Mikal Bridges the ball and shoot the three.
Yeah.
In Villanova.
And Porzingis can only hold his spot for like 2 seconds. It's just the way his body is.
Right, yeah, he's not big enough.
And so you have to, when he gets the position, you have to immediately get it to him. And Luka can, but to your point, Billy, he's reluctant at times to immediately give it to him. And the other guys just can't pass. I mean, Hardaway's a bad passer. Dorian Finney-Smith's a bad passer. Kleba's a bad passer. Josh Richardson's an okay passer at best, giving him credit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brunson's a pretty good passer, but so literally on the court, nobody can pass the ball.
Right.
Unless it's a wide open pass.
Mike, help me and Billy out here because we're going to go back to game 3 real quick. Now, me and Billy feel that Luka in game 3, yes, he scored 44 points, but we felt like the team suffered in that 44 points. And what I mean by that is he was so hot that they gave him the ball, let him go. Whereas the point is KP and Tim Hardaway couldn't get in rhythm, which is why I feel like they lost game 3.
I hear you. I had unbelievable seats. I was right behind. I was like center court, front row, right behind the tarp.
Oh wow!
Man, how much money they paying you at the fair? Good God, man! Listen,
you got to take care of over there.
I got to carry the chips real quick. I'll be in his pockets, Billy.
And being there, you could see the frustration of Rick and I would say Luka with Porzingis. That at times they gave him good looks and he didn't seem to want it. And then he was short on some shots. And then to start the third quarter, he got beat 3 straight plays defensively, and Rick took him out for Willie Cauley-Stein with about 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. And Porzingis just didn't seem to want to engage. And it was ticking off Rick, and it was ticking off Luka. You could this is where being at the game is. And Walt, I know you used to be able to do all this. Is when you're at the game, you can kind of see the bench, and you can see the body language of the players and what's going on. And so for some reason, and I thought KP did a nice job of engaging in this game. I thought his energy and effort was there tonight. Unfortunately, it wasn't there at all for the Mavericks as a team. And I just felt like watching that game up close, I don't know what it was, but Porzingis just didn't want to engage in it in game 3. And you could be right about that, but Hardaway's a streak shooter, and you have to live with these guys. I know he's not J.R. Smith, but you have to live with J.R. Smith. When you have J.R. Smith, you have to live with, at times he's going to give me 30. At times you're going to go what the hell, dude? And I know
what are you doing?
Hardaway doesn't make the mental mistakes that J.R. Smith makes, but he is going to keep shooting no matter what. And he's just a street guy, and hopefully he gets hot in game 5 and 6, and we can ride it. And then for Porzingis, hopefully he plays like he played tonight. The only thing about Porzingis is, and I'm not a Porzingis fan, I wish I was more of a fan of him, is I don't think he can dominate a basketball game for a 5-minute stretch the way like Paul George has done. And I'm not a huge Paul George fan, but like we need like Porzingis to dominate a stretch the way like I'll just go to Jason Terry with Dirk. The way Jason Terry all of a sudden for 5 minutes you're like, holy crap. And Hardaway can kind of do that off of passes. But I just feel like for Porzingis, I want him to dominate more. I want more from him, but I just don't know if he has the ability to give you that.
Mike, before we let you go, is the series over?
Oh, I agree with – I'm sorry because you're Kendrick, right? Kendrick was great, man. I enjoyed listening to Kendrick. I think Game 5 is it. I don't think this is going to go 7. I do think whoever wins Game 5 is just going to go ahead and win Game 6. So I'm leaning towards, yes, the Clippers are going to win Game 5 and win Game 6, and we're going to look at it and go, yuck, this looks like the NBA Finals of 2006 where we won 2 and then everything just
that's what I was saying. Yes.
But I do remember, or this could look like 05 against Houston, where you lose your 2 at home, win 2 on the road, and then the home court stays. Game 5, Mavs win. Game 6, they get beat pretty bad in Houston. Game 7, they blow out Houston. And that could be the case in this series where LA might win Game 5 and feel like, because they are a team that kind of, you're like, what the hell was that? They could just come to Dallas and go, we don't need to play hard in Dallas. Let's just win Game 7 at home. And so it could go that way. But I think Game 5 is just such a huge game. And to Kendrick's point, I don't think it's ever happened in the NBA. But in 2019 in the World Series, the Astros and the Nationals, nobody won a home game.
Right, I remember
all
that.
4 games on the road, and the Astros won all 3 games on the road. But I don't see that playing out. That like you win in LA, lose in Dallas, and win in LA for the Mavericks.
Well, the Mavericks don't play good at home, so God. I can see them going to LA. I can see them going to LA and going to LA and winning and changing things.
Well, like I'm trying to be. Like, I'm disappointed. I'm upset, but I'm trying to be look, I hope that if they lose, this is where Mark and Donnie say we can't keep this team. We can't run this same team out there next year.
Question, okay? Because after these 2 games, everybody was, how you like Rick Carlisle now? Rick Carlisle this. What happens to Rick Carlisle if he lets the Clippers come back and win this series?
I think he has such a tight relationship with this organization that I think he's the head coach. And I do think this. I don't think you're getting upset by the Clippers. The Clippers were the biggest favorite, I believe, in the Western Conference by Las Vegas. So out of this series, and look, everything changed when you won the first 2, but going into this, Vegas saw this as the biggest mismatch in the Western Conference.
Right.
So,
but that would be you came back and lost 4 games straight after you had them.
But I guess with Rick, I would say I was surprised we won the first 2. I actually picked us to lose Game 1, and when we won Game 1, I thought, well, we'll probably lose Game 2, and we won. And then I stupidly said on Friday, I think we're going to sweep at home.
A lot of people said that.
I said that too, Mike. So don't worry about it.
But maybe everything can change. This is Steve Nash said this. I'll always remember this from Steve Nash, and maybe somebody else said it before him, and he was quoting somebody else. This was back when he was with the Mavs. And he said, when you lose a game in the playoffs, everybody thinks that you're never going to win a game in that series because what's going to change? It's the same 2 teams playing each other the next game. And then when you win, you never think you're going to lose because you're like, we beat that team and we get to play them the next game. It's going to be the same story. So as bad as this was, maybe it was good the Mavs got blown out. Maybe instead of it being close and saying, oh, man, if we just do this or that, maybe it's like a huge wake-up call and they give it their all Friday or Wednesday night and we find ourselves shocked that we went to L.A. and we've won 3 in L.A. and we're coming back home. So playoffs are tough to predict. These teams are somewhat close. I do think they have more talent than us. They obviously have way more experience. But maybe we'll get lucky on Wednesday and we'll feel a lot better.
Mike, I've said this before, just real quick, and you hear it across the sports platforms all over. You learn more in a loss than you do in wins. And this Mavericks team, after getting their ass kicked tonight the way they did, I think that Rick is going to take these guys back to the drawing board. They're going to have to figure out something, but it's just something about when you take a loss, man, you don't want to, but you learn. You have to go back to the drawing board and figure out what's going on here. And maybe might be wishful thinking here, but maybe the Clippers get a little arrogant. They've been known to do that over the course of the year. They definitely did it last year. Maybe they get a little arrogant and think, okay, we got these guys right where we want them, and the Mavericks come out, sneak one, and all they have to do, no matter how bad we think they are at home, if they get one in Game 5, man, they got to come home and be just good one time at home and get a W, man, and shut this thing down and move forward. But only time will tell, man. I do know this. The games do have to be played out there on the court. They're not played on paper. They're played on the floor. And so we have a chance. This series is tied at 2 games apiece. Let's see how it works out these last 3.
Well, and I know this probably won't work, Walt, and it's a dangerous thing to do. But maybe you start flopping because Kawhi and Paul George are bullying their way to the basket. And we're trying to stay in front of him. We're trying to go with them, Kleba and Dorian Finney-Smith, and just fall down like that. Just, I don't know. That could be a horrible strategy, and you give up uncontested dunks. But maybe when they do that first bully, the second one they do, just totally flop and see if the refs will fall for it.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm interested in, Mike, before I let you go. I'm interested to see how Rick Carlisle is going to coach against the fact that the Clippers are – when they go small, that lineup is pretty much used to run them off the 3-point line, and it's working. So I'm and for a team that only shoots threes, I'm wondering what he's going to coach them to do as far as going to the basket or hitting 2-pointers. Because the Clippers, if you saw it tonight, every time they got on the 3-point line, it was somebody right there waiting on them.
Yeah, no,
right there waiting on them.
That's our problem is they also started playing faster, Walt, and teams that play faster give us problems. And they started just pushing the ball hard up the court, and we were like, oh crap. And so that's where I don't know. We never made an adjustment in the regular season to teams playing fast. So why would we be able to do it now?
Listen, Mike, when we play teams like Sacramento, Chicago, the Hornets, I said, when you play those teams, you got to get ready to put your track shoes on that night because it's going to be a sprint show that night. You can't this whole walking the ball down court and getting set up. You got to be ready to run and gun when you're playing against those guys.
All right, fellas. Well, have a good night. Maybe we'll figure out a way Wednesday.
All right, man.
All right, Mike. Take care, man.
Listen, I got your head coach potted up here. Do you want to hear what he had to say?
Of course. Need to hear what Rick has to say.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. As badly as it went, I saw a lot of positives in the game. So like I was trying to do the right things. We had a very poor shooting night and had some good looks. We've got to work at defending better. That's obvious. That's where it's at. It's pretty simple. It's really a matchup based series. And I just feel like, we just got to work to get more traction defensively. That's really the main focus for us.
Brad?
Yeah, Rick, Brad Townsend, Dallas Morning News. How did Luka look physically out there to you? From us, from where we are, he was grimacing a lot and bent over sometimes.
Yeah, he's in pain. It appeared to me that he couldn't turn left, couldn't look to his left. He couldn't turn his neck to the left. And that's difficult for a guy that, relies on peripheral vision and, basically has played his whole life with his head on a swivel, So we got to hope in the next couple of days that he can get better, hopefully substantially better. There is a 2-day break between games, which is a positive in this case, and it's a positive for both teams if you got guys beat up and banged up, which I'm sure both teams do on some level. But his neck issue certainly contributed to a 9 for 24 night and him having some real unusual struggles.
Tim McMahon.
Tim McMahon, ESPN. Rick, what are the biggest concerns that you have about the way you match up or the way that they're attacking you when they're small and you guys are on the defensive end?
Yeah, look, they've got two great players that are just putting their head down and basically trying to go through us. We'll look at the film, see where we can do better. And yeah, look, the first two games we won were very high scoring games. We scored a lot. They scored, one game they scored 121, the other scored 103. I mean, those were high scoring games. From a process standpoint, we just got to stick with it offensively. I mean, we had a lot of looks that we liked. We just got to keep stepping into them, with force. And we got to work at the defense. Leonard's a great player. George's a great player. They got great shooting. It's a challenge.
Tim. Tim, you're muted.
Tim Cato, The Athletic. When you say you need to be better defensively, is it specifically just individual performances? Is there scheme issues that you already can pinpoint that need to be improved?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all of the above. And, you look at, let me see here. Points in the paint, 44. That's a lot. We had 42. In the first game, there was a huge differential there, and we made some of that up, which is good. Second chance points, we made a little bit of hay there. But look, a lot of this is transition, okay? They had 17 transition points, and we had 4. And look, in a playoff series where transition points is really one of the few ways you can get easy baskets, when you go minus 13 in that area, you really put yourself up against it. So defense is always going to start with the quality of shot that you get. Look, when you're missing and then not doing a good job of getting back, it amplifies, the challenges even more. So it's all connected. But we've got to remain steadfast on the things that got us, to a 2-2 situation in a series. And, we just got to keep working at our defense, our defensive rebounding, and keep stepping into shots.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Billy, did you hear how he started that interview off? That was a little concerning.
It kind of cut out.
It was a little concerning what he started off with there when he says, I did all I could do, or I did the best I could do with basically saying like, look at what I got. I did with the best I could do with what I got in this situation. Like he sounded defeated to me.
No, I didn't take it as that, man. I did hear him say that. I didn't take it as that, man. I mean, I think he's being honest, man. I know how much people here in Dallas hate to hear honesty, but he's just telling them the truth. It's like, hey, I think I'm doing the best with what the situation is given.
That goes back to what Mike was just saying a few minutes ago.
I mean, we can't. Go ahead.
I wanted to point this out to you. This comment came in. You guys should be proud of Luka playing hurt. Instead, you guys feel like he was sugarcoating. I can't believe you guys. He's talking about you, Billy.
Who is that?
That's Jason Tejada.
Wait, I gotta read again. You guys, Jason, that's my guy from the Philippines.
Yeah. Shout out to
proud
Philippines.
of Luka playing hurt. No, listen, Jason. We are proud of Luka playing hurt, man. I said it throughout the game. No, I am proud. I am proud of him playing hurt, man. I'm just saying that even in the midst of that, we have to acknowledge that nobody is dumb. Nobody's sitting here looking at it saying, "Oh, he's not hurt. He's faking it." I don't think Luka's made up of that type of thing. He could be out there. He's going to play. In fact, We were talking over here within my house, talking about how we thought Luka might have needed to just sit out this game if it was really that bad, the way they're saying it, and then give himself, that about a 4 days off before having to worry about game 5. But he wants to be. He's a warrior. He's going to play. So I'm not taking anything away from him. What I'm saying is we don't need to use that as an excuse and just say and deny everyone of what's really going on with this team. We can't just sit here and say, oh, Luka was injured, that's why. No, the reason this Mavericks team lost the game is because we continue to turn the ball over. We continue to not make Kawhi Leonard and Paul George work. We allow them to get the ball. They score 50-plus points in the paint. We do not guard the perimeter, and we keep jacking up threes when it is we look like the Houston Rockets. We're jacking up threes. We refuse to go into the paint. We refuse to try to go in and force the issue. And that's why we lost this game. It has nothing to do with Luka Doncic. Luka is not the reason we lost this game. KP is not the reason we lost this game. The reason we lost this game is because we don't give a damn defensively. We did not play with heart. Everything that I put on that Facebook video, Walt, you saw the video this morning.
They went opposite they did not listen to a word you said on the video.
I guess I didn't hit the send button on that, man. It went into my draft folder.
Yeah,
because they didn't get it. They didn't do a damn bit of anything that I pointed out.
Not one word on that list that they do.
I got to upgrade this Wi-Fi over here or something, man. But next time the message will get across, even if I have to write it down and hand it to these guys. But no, they'll be better, man. I mean, I like Luka's effort. He did go out there and try to compete. I'll never take that away from him. At this point in the stage in the year, everyone's trying to compete. Everybody wants to win. You got the best competitors there are out there. I just think that at the end of the day, the Mavericks just don't play enough defense to give themselves a legitimate chance, and that's what happened. So they'll be better. They'll be better.
Well, let's hear. Matter of fact, let's hear from Luka. Let's hear what he had to say about tonight's game.
All right, Luka, we'll get started with Callie.
Luka, this is Callie Kaplan with the Dallas Morning News. How was your neck and your arm feeling tonight? We could see you kind of grabbing at it and in pain at certain points, but how much did you really have to be fighting through, and how did that feel?
I don't think that matter right now. We lost by 20, and injuries are part of the basketball, but I was 100%. But I played terrible, so we just got to move on to the next one.
Tim
McMahon, ESPN. Luka, you threw a cross-court pass. It looked like it really bothered you. Where is the pain, and are there certain things that makes it flare up that are difficult to deal with?
I mean, the pain is like neck and then the nerve down. I don't really know how to explain that, but it felt way better today morning than yesterday. And I just keep doing massages, ice it down and be ready for Wednesday.
Okay, we'll move on to Spanish with Claudia.
Luka.
Shout out to Claudia tonight over there on the 1 or 2. She's new.
That old Claudia thing looks like, man. I like to know. It sounds very spicy.
Get out of there.
Very spicy.
Get out of there. That's all I can tell you. Get out of there.
I'll leave it alone. Guys.
So somebody asked me earlier, and this is what I said Luka have. I don't know if they don't want to come out and say it or if they don't want to diagnose it. Luka has a pinched nerve.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah.
He's got a pinched nerve, and that's pretty much what it is. I don't know why I'm trying to sugarcoat it. It's the pain from here. Bro, you got a pinched nerve.
Casey and those guys can't get that fixed? I'm good.
No, I don't think that. That's just something like you say. That's something you got to massage out and kind of let heal on its own.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm just still. I know, EA came on here and again, I mean, as ridiculous as it was, he was pointing it out. I already knew Luka had gotten injured. I knew he had gotten injured. I had heard him mention at the end of game 3. I'm just still trying to figure out what happened to cause it. Did he get fouled? Did he get knocked to the ground in a certain way that caused it? Or,
It looked like
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
He went up for a layup. I don't know if he can't make contact, but he came down and he was like,
yeah,
in game 3.
Yeah, and man, I'm holding out. I don't give a damn. I'm going to go against the grain here. I know it's easy to say, "Oh, the Mavericks are going to lose this series," but I'm going against the grain here. But man, how bootleg would it be if the Mavericks did lose the series, and for a second straight year, it was because Luka was because of injury? Because we all agreed last year it was because of injury that we didn't win that series. How bootleg would it be back to back against the same damn team, consecutive years, first round? Same guy gets injured. I mean, that's kind of bootleg that would happen.
KP got injured last year, and now he got ejected one game, then he got injured, and then Brunson wasn't there last year. So, I mean, but
those aren't your key. Yeah, I mean, they're key guys, but I mean, how bootleg that you lost your main? That's like the Clippers running to us back-to-back years and losing Kawhi. Like that,
Wait, didn't we only win one game last year?
No, 1-2. The series was 2-2 going into Game 5. Remember?
Okay, 2-2 going into Game 5. So
same scenario again.
So we're here again.
I mean, hopefully we can, hopefully we can get it. That's what I'm saying, Walt. I mean, this team, we can say what we want to, man. I ain't buying all that. Oh, the Clippers had the momentum. It's all over, man. Please, we had the momentum just less than 72 hours ago. Okay, people need to remember that. So you lost 2 games. This is a team. You're the underdog. Keep in mind, you are the underdog. Okay, so you won 2 games that people will say, oh, maybe you shouldn't have won. But you know what? You did win them. So it doesn't matter. At this point, it's about Game 5. I don't give a damn what's on paper. I don't give a damn about you because you know all the things. You know what we're going to hear on Game 5. Oh, this is the must win because, 80% of the teams that win Game 5 go on to do. Man, I don't want to hear none of that shit. It's basketball. It's what happens on the floor. Okay? I don't care about all those numbers. All that's out the window. And that's the way the Mavericks got to look at it. If they win the game, Walt, it counts for 1 game. They still have to win another one with 2 left to play. If they lose the game, then they just make it more complicated on themselves. They have to win 2 games. I believe the Clippers are a team that is capable of imploding. I think that Luka is the type of guy, and he's made of the right stuff to come back and compete at a high level. I think those other guys are going to be ready. I think they're going to be tied together on a single string this upcoming game, and I think they can come out there and get Game 5. I don't care about what just happened. We got to throw that away. We have to go out there and play this next game, and we have the opportunity to. So let's take the opportunity and make the most of it.
Well, I've got the man of the hour, the man who you said was the best player on the court tonight, potted up. We got Kristaps Porzingis right here, your guy, because this is what we do. Porzingis, big stops.
Easy night.
Unmute. All right, Kristaps. We'll go ahead and get started with Kevin Gray.
Kevin Gray, 105 through the fan. KP, this team over the last 2 games, and the Clippers have scored 90 points in the paint. What do you guys have to do individually and collectively to create some more resistance as far as their paint scoring is concerned going forward here?
Good question. We gotta look at the film on the rotations. How we're doing that, and they're really good at kicking the ball out when we're doubling and just moving it around the perimeter, and then we run them off the 3-point line, and then they maybe drive, and there's a paint attack, and they're able to score in the paint. So we got to look at how we can take some of those away, and but overall, we know we can do a better job on both ends. Tonight was a below what we can do in terms of shooting, but it's okay. On to the next one.
Okay, we will move into Spanish. Eric.
Hola, ¿qué tal? KP, Eric Mora de Telemundo Dallas. ¿Qué tanto le afectó al equipo mentalmente, psicológicamente, el saber que Luka Doncic no estaba al 100%? ¿Fue eso un factor realmente desde el principio del partido?
Yo creo que no. No debemos depender solo de si él está metiendo o no. Nosotros somos un equipo que sabemos que habrá días que no metemos y tenemos que enfocarnos en defender y dejarlos en pocos puntos. Y lo hemos hablado después del partido también, que cuando el ataque nuestro no estamos tan enchufados como nos gustaría, por ejemplo, como los primeros dos partidos, tenemos que enfocarnos en la defensa y hacer un partido duro para ellos en ataque, con nuestra defensa y con nuestra mentalidad, e incluso cuando el partido ofensivamente no va como queremos.
Daniel.
Daniel Mercado de Club Deportivo por Sydney. Empezaron el juego usándote alrededor de la pintura, después se salieron de eso. ¿Qué pasó?
No, a ver, lo intentamos hacer todo el partido, conmigo en la pintura. Algunas jugadas, es todo un poco, ¿cómo se dice? Random. Es un poco, estamos intentando crear situaciones. No son jugadas específicas, sino son situaciones y cuando hay cambio, pues intento ganar la posición dentro para utilizarlo para meter o para sacar la pelota a mis compañeros para tiros abiertos. Y a lo mejor en la segunda parte no tuvimos tanta oportunidad para hacerlo, pero es en lo que estamos enfocados y intentar crear ventaja desde ahí.
Okay, thanks, Christoph.
guys.
Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you later.
Well, Billy, I did that for our Spanish peeps who were up late with us. I let them hear that video. But yeah, man. Real quick, I just got to know from you, what are they going to do, man? The Clippers are running them off that 3-point line, man. What are they going to do in Game 5? What can you tell me to try to get me back on board? Because right now I just don't see it. The Clippers have figured it out.
The Clippers haven't figured out anything. The Mavericks are their own worst enemy right now. I'm here to tell you, the Clippers, what the Clippers are doing is nothing. They haven't done anything profound or anything like that. This is a Mavericks issue. I mentioned it before. This team doesn't do things to help themselves. We get in our own way. Like I said, well, there's a certain level of competitive nature that you have to have. It was one of my keys that I put down earlier, man. It's about an attitude. It's about a disposition. This Clippers team has come in here and has punched you. You did the punching first. You came out in the first round. It's like Walt, you know that the big bully is there. You walk over to their blocking. You punch them in the mouth. Now you can't expect them to just lay down. They're the big bully. They're the big bully. They're going to try to come back and fight you. The Clippers have accepted the challenge. And they're fighting back. So it's on the Mavericks now to realize, okay, hey, what are we going to do? Now, basketball-wise, it's very, very simple. This is not a hard concept. Guys, get to the rebounds. I know we're not the better rebounding team. I get it. But Walt, a lot of those rebounds that the Clippers were getting were effort rebounds, man. Effort rebounds. There's a difference in just having big 7-foot guys that can get up and get boards for you and stuff like that. That's one thing. But for all the threes that are getting put up, they say it all the time: long shot, long rebound. Get after it. Get those loose balls. You got to get to them. You got to, when you get down there, how many layups did the Mavericks blow tonight? It was like they demoralized their own selves. I saw a setup earlier in the game where I believe Josh Richardson and Dodo, both of them were just killing the Clippers on the board. They were getting extra shot attempts, just couldn't put the ball in the basket. You got to score those. And it's like when you're putting in all that energy down there, jumping for second and third rebounds, and then you still blow it and they finally get it, you're exhausted. You're not going to run down on the other end. And you know what? Nick Batum gets a wide open three in the corner. Reggie Jackson gets a three in transition. They've got to just clean it up, Walt. This Mavericks team has what it takes to beat this Clippers team. They have it. They got to find a way to get out there and to bring it out. Just like people talking about the Mavericks and how they shoot, the Clippers aren't going to keep shooting at this incredible clip. They're not. They've caught on fire as of late. They're not going to keep doing that. The Mavericks start getting after those guys, start doing what I say, which is when when Kawhi Leonard or Paul George, either one of those guys are on the floor and they're just out there by themselves, why not double them and run them off, get the ball out of their hands? They do it to Luka. Why are we the only ones that choose to play one-on-one with these guys?
Because we don't have anybody fast enough to step up off the double team.
We don't have anybody fast enough to step up on a double team. What do you mean?
Yeah, for when you do a double team and they swing the ball around to the other person, you got to have somebody quick to move over there. They don't have nobody that quick.
What do you mean?
That's why they don't go with double. That's why they don't go with double teams.
Well, no, I don't think you got guys that are, well, it's not about how quick the guy is. Your rotation should already be set. You know who's doubling. You know where to rotate. That's just common basketball. It's not about quickness on the perimeter. I mean, the guy's got to be athletic. I'm not going to say Boban's going to rotate around, but
they don't have.
But you have guards out there, though.
Only person who could really do that is Richardson, and he doesn't play. He doesn't play too much.
Well, I don't know. I mean, your guards can Luka and those guys can rotate around. If they're rotations.
Luka cannot. No, Luka cannot rotate. You need when you do a double team, you need somebody like Hardaway. You need somebody who's a little bit of a slasher, like a Hardaway or Josh Richardson, to move over quick enough. As you see, hell, they can't even stay in front of them with 1-on-1. So with two people on them, they just got to do never kick it out to Paul George or. And I think, did they try to do a double team in game one and Rondo start hitting threes?
Yeah, I mean, Rondo's hit a couple of threes. He's still a terrible shooter, but I mean, he's hit a couple of threes or whatever. I think they've been more timely than anything. I mean, I don't know where people got this idea that Rajon Rondo is some type of shooter. He's knocked down a couple of shots. I mean, I let him shoot at the end of the game.
No, and before the series. Cuban was like, "Oh, we want him to shoot a lot." And then game one, he knocked down like 3 or 4 threes, and we're like, "All right, well."
And then he didn't hit a single one the next game.
Yeah, but they didn't
single one.
They didn't. They didn't draw that up. Game two, the thing. I think they really figured it out that taking Pat Bev off the court and either starting Reggie Jackson or having him. Just keep Pat Bev on the court was a no-no, and they got rid of that, and that's kind of actually helped them out tonight.
Well, all I know is that when it comes down to Game 5, man, the Mavericks have just got to clean up the trash that they have just laid around or whatever. There are opportunities to attack this Clippers team or whatever, but it's not. They got to understand it's more than just shooting a three. You also have the ability to go to the basket, guys. It's not that you can't. It's not that you can't.
This is Kevin Gray. It's hard to get rebounds when their Clippers ain't missing layups.
Truth.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they're running the Mavericks off the 3-point line, but they coming down on the other end and getting to the basket.
Yeah, I mean, well, that goes to your defensive strategy and everything like that. You can't let Kawhi Leonard and Paul George keep going one-on-one with your guys. You got to get after them, get the ball out of their hands. A 3-point shot is always less likely to go in than a damn layup. This is just common knowledge. This is nothing hard that we need to figure out. I don't care about them getting hot for a 5-minute time frame. What you see is killing you is Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. That's what's killing you. You got to address that first. I don't care about Nick Batum in a damn corner. There's a reason he's in a corner. There's a reason he's off the ball. He can't damage you the same way these guys are. You got to make those guys beat you.
You definitely ain't running no double team with Boban on the court. You forget about that.
Well, I mean, you don't have to. The Mavericks rotations are set, man. When you come down and everything, your guards, you cannot tell me the Mavericks don't have guards quick enough to rotate on the perimeter because it's preset. You know where you're going. You're just closing out on those guys, forcing them off the 3-ball. You know it. That's what the Clippers are doing. It ain't like they just got these just super duper athletes on the perimeter that are running around. These guys can't even stay in front of Luka.
But the Mavericks play slow, 1, and number 2, all of their shots come off the 3-point line.
Well, yeah, that is one thing. The Mavericks do not play from inside out, so that's true.
Yeah, they don't. You don't have to do. It's not too hard to stop them. It's just like I told you, Tyronn Lue basically was like, "I tell you what, let Luka get his. Just let him get his." And what Tim Hardaway not gonna do? We're not gonna let him get set. We're not gonna. They ain't even really letting Porzingis get to the 3-point line.
Well, I tell you what, you fix that. You fix that by getting in the paint. When you start driving and you start showing that you are willing to drive and finish at the basket, I guarantee you that'll open up. I guarantee you that.
Analytics don't show that, Billy. We have to shoot these threes.
I don't care what analytics show. I don't care what analytics show. That's That's not the way the game works. It's stupid. It's dumb. They don't seem to understand that. It does not make sense. But they'll figure it out. I trust me. I feel like the Mavericks. Sometimes getting your ass kicked is good for you, man. I'm telling you what I know. Sometimes it's good for you. It makes you go back to the drawing board and have to figure this thing out. And they're going to have to do that. They'll take time. They'll figure it out. They got 2 games. Let's hopefully get Luka injury free. Let's get Luka back healthy, or as healthy as he can be. Let's make sure everybody's back, everybody's focused, and let's go out here, us against the world, and we're gonna take on these Clippers, man. Again, the series is not lost. It looks down and out right now because of what just happened, but at the end of the day, we could talk about momentum and all that different stuff all we want to. The reality of the situation is, if when you wake up tomorrow morning, Walt, this series will be 2-2. That will be the reality of the situation, and so we have an opportunity to play 3 more games.
I don't have to wake up. It's already 2-2 before I go to bed.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, I'll say so we're already to another day. Go ahead.
Real quick, I want you to explain to me how the Mavericks are supposed to win a game with Porzingis 18, Dorian Finney-Smith 8, Luka 19, Maxi Kleber 0, Tim Hardaway 4, Josh Richardson 5, Jalen Brunson 7, Boban 12, Trey Burke 1, Cauley Stein 0, and Dwight Powell 7.
Dwight Powell had 7 points tonight?
Yeah, that was after they took everybody out. And
I didn't even see. I did see him get that lob dunk at the end of the game. It was pretty nice.
Hold on. Yeah. And one thing else that was talked about, I think Greg Anthony brought it up. With the way Maxey is playing right now, would you go to Dwight Powell
in the starting lineup?
Yes.
I mean,
he gave you goose egg.
I would put Dwight. Dwight Powell's not going to give you that shooting, but what he is going to give you, he'll rotate. He will rebound. He will do that.
Now he's your guy that if you run a double team, you got him on the court, you can pull it off because he actually can get there.
Yeah, he'll rotate around and everything. He'll rebound. He'll play with great energy. I mean, I wouldn't mind having Dwight Powell out there, but what you're doing is you're sacrificing that potential to hit an open shot outside because that's not his game. But I mean, I think Dwight needs more minutes, especially with the Clippers playing small. He definitely needs to be in the game. I will go to Dwight Powell before I go to Cauley Stein. I don't know what the infatuation is with Cauley Stein. I've been saying that all year. I don't know what the infatuation is there, but I would go with Dwight Powell and see what he can do for me. But you're not going to win games, to your earlier question. You're not going to win games with guys scoring like that, man. They're going to be okay. They're going to be all right. They're going to figure it out. He's going to be. It's going to figure out. It's going to figure itself out.
Well, we sure hope you're right. But we want to thank everybody that tuned in. We want to thank Mike Bassick for joining us. Kendrick, we'll be back here. So it looks like we're going to be back Wednesday night. Wednesday night is when the Mavericks play again. Is what it looks like. So we'll be back Wednesday. If you can hear the sound of my voice, if you haven't registered, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube page, go do so now. You could be in the drawing for a Luka Doncic jersey that we're going to give away. What's the Kendrick say? Depot 7.
Yeah, get them in there.
You can win a Luka Doncic jersey. All you got to do is go to our YouTube page, subscribe, and we'll enter you in raffle. And when the Mavs run is over in the playoffs, we're going to raffle off a Luka Doncic jersey. We're going to have it shipped directly to you. We're going to pay for it, get it designed the way you want to, and ship it to you. I want to thank you, Billy, for joining me tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. Always do what's best for business. And if we don't see you around, then we'll see you around.